Rise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for the first episode of Dobbers, the Silent King. We are playing D&D 5e, but we are playing it in a homebrew world, and we just so happen to have the creator of that homebrew world here to GM us through the trials and tribulations of the tiny folk of Dobberton. So we have our collected crew here. We have Keith, a.k.a. Material Components. We have Mac of the Meeple. We have Chris, the charity board gamer. And of course we have Daryl, Splattered Ink, the creator of Dobberton, the Dobbers board game, and also heavily involved with their Nerdarchy Kickstarter that just succeeded, doing all their super dope, quest in a box kind of thing, adventure in a box. So without further ado, guys, I will remind you that if you want to join the conversation, there is a chat room just for this game in our Discord, so please go join us over there. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is on our Patreon, and if you want to support this beautiful, wonderful, amazing cast that you see before you, you can check down on that bottom right-hand corner of this screen where you'll see the decay bar. And when that bar fills, Daryl gets to do whatever the hell he wants. But more importantly, any amount of money that goes to that bar goes back to these wonderful players here for their hard work. That being said, I will turn things over to Daryl to take us away into the world of Dobberton.
Thank you so much, Mike. I am really excited to be here. It's probably been a year since I've ran a Dobbers game on Twitch. So nothing like getting back in the saddle and starting with the second adventure. If anybody knows me from a while back, there was the quest for the key, and now we're doing the Silent King. So this is part 2. We'll learn more about that as we play. But Dobbers are kind of small folk. They have been referred to as forest hobbits. They live in the Alwaysgreen Forest. It's been a world of kingdom of relative peace and harmony, where they're all kind of oblivious to all the trials of the outside world until last year all that trouble came knocking and their neighbors, the Ratclaw clan, attacked. Since then, it's been a pretty hard time in the kingdom, but all that has been put by them. They've survived the year, and now it's the fall season for a new year. There's some hope in the kingdom. People are starting to get their lives back in order. And we are going to be playing today in the village of Cedarbrook. Cedarbrook is a small village in the north part of the country, of the kingdom. I would say country. It's a little bit isolated. It's not on any of the main roads. And it's unique because there's a large cedar tree just north of the village where a natural spring bubbles up from its base. This spring then forms a brook that runs through the town, and that's where it gets its name. It's fairly well known for those who even know it exists for their cider fest in the fall, where all week long the town plays games, eats food, makes special recipes, and most importantly, they smash apples and make cider. The cider fest concludes on the final day, after a week long of smashing apples, with opening the kegs from the previous year's cider fest. So you smash them one year, and then they ferment all year. You open them up on the next year. So we are going to pick up on the last day of the cider fest. We're going to play some, or you're going to have to go through some of the festivities, the daytime festivities, and then we'll go to that evening celebration where the big grand finale is going to kick off. So,
and of course, this is a world where nothing bad can happen to us, right?
Right. This is a world where nothing bad can happen to you.
Perfect.
So actually, the biggest challenge that you're going to face is how do you get the bubble gum out of your hair?
Oh, good.
But fortunately, we can roll dice for that. So, anyway. So we're going to kick it off. A couple other things about Cedarbrook is that there is Gabbard's Cafe. It's the big kind of town central. It's the tavern, the inn, the general store, all those things. And we are all going to start outside in front of Gabbard's Cafe. There's a large sort of open area where the trees are spread out a little bit. It's where the brook actually goes through town. But just between the brook and the entrance to the cafe, everyone's gathered around watching a caber toss. Anybody know what that is? There's several young Dobbers, strapping young lads, whatever you want to call it. And they take these big tree trunks, big to them, of course, which is the equivalent of 3 foot tall and I don't know, maybe this big around. And you take them and you hold them, with your fingers crossed underneath, and then you just bend down and you heave it up, and whoever throws it the furthest wins. So we've got the caber toss going on. People are cheering. Gabbard is out there. You guys are all watching this. So let's start with which one of you think you're going to be kind of the most engaged by this particular activity?
I'd probably be pretty engaged with this activity. I think that I'm a very strong Dobber, and I think that I could be very successful in this.
All right, cool. So the first 2 guys you see throw the cabers, they go, one of them goes 6 feet, while another one goes 7, but it happens to land on its end and actually flips over, and he gets an extra 3 feet out of it, and he jumps up and cheers, and an old Dobber steps forward after and says, "Well done, Mickle, well done. Do we have any other takers?" Of course, you recognize this Dobber is Amalek. His wife, Rosa, is there beside him, kind of guiding him because he can barely see, but he seems to be officiating everything. So, any other takers want to try?
Me.
Yes. He squints at you. Oh, yes, Siggy, please, go forward. Anyone else? No, you guys can volunteer, or I can grab an NPC.
So how many people are watching this whole thing?
30.
30 people. Okay. And Siggy is resplendent in paladin armor, right? Or some kind of garb, right?
Yes.
Is that accurate?
But she would have her common armor. I mean, it's the armor she has. But she at this point just has like a little signet that has the blue star on it.
Sure.
Because she's not a paladin yet. She's a
If
apprentice.
that is visible, Kaddish cannot be outdone by a paladin and must. He may not be the strongest Dob in town, but he cannot be outdone, and his hubris takes him, and he will also enter in. I'll toss a thing.
All right. Yes. Is that Kaddish? I haven't seen you for a few weeks. Are you still training?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All the time. But you gotta. Sometimes you gotta take 2 turns at the paladin exam or whatever.
Yes. Well, I mean, no one blames you for, any shortcomings you may have. But
short joke.
I mean, no insult, of course. Please come forward. So you guys come into the center, and most of the crowd there is either like old farmers or families and things like that. There's only like a dozen at most people that would even be kind of qualified for this type of activity. So mostly it's just people watching. You guys come forward. So all right, Siggy, first there's 4 different cabers here. They're different sizes. And you still are trying to throw it as far as you can, but there's kind of a pride bonus points that no one counts depending on how big you pick up of the caber. So you've got everything from manageable to less manageable.
So I'm a very determined young lass. So I'm just gonna go straight for the biggest one. I'm just gonna hold it up. Just
nice.
I'm set.
All right. So you get under it, kind of lean it up on your shoulder, and then you squat down and get your fingers, locked underneath the base of this cut down tree trunk. You pick it up. You're like, it's solid. It's heavy. But you're managing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll 3d20s.
Okay.
And we're gonna take the best 2. So that way, if somebody rolls a 1, it's not a blown competition there. So, strength, by the way. Use your strength modifier or athletics.
So we are looking at a highest one being solid 13.
All right. The highest 2, so you got a 13 and
a
6
and a 6.
7? 6. Okay. All right. So you heave this thing up, and you feel like you get a good push off of it, but just as it starts to launch out, I've actually done this before. That's how I know it feels. The weight tips forward too fast. You just sort of shove it, and it just goes thunk right into the ground. You get about 5-6 feet. All right, Caddish, your turn. 3d20s with your strength or athletics.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's see here. 3. So while Siggy is picking up the largest one, Caddish is definitely. I was gonna just so everyone knows I was gonna get that one, but it's. And then she grabbed it, and then so he's gonna walk up and he's gonna get the next biggest one, and try to scoop underneath that one. Okay. And he has a +3 to athletics, so let's do that. Let's see if I know how to use commands right. So a 14 and a 12, so that's a 17 and a 15.
All right, 17 and a 15. So this, when you heave it up, you manage to get that little extra push up before it starts to tip forward, and you give it a really good chuck, and it goes about 9 feet. You're not, Siggy, of course, isn't sure whether it's because he got the lighter one or you just did a better job. But, we'll leave that up to you guys to decide.
Rude. Okay. Let's see how it is.
Oh, well done, Caddish. I didn't think you had it in you.
What do you mean? Of course I had it in me. I've been training for weeks. I'm gonna be the next commander. It's just a fact. Step 1 is you throw the loggy thing.
Of course, young man. Of course. Yes. Yeah. Well done. Well done. Do we have any other takers? A couple other Dobbers step forward. You look like they've been working out in the field or in the orchards, things like that around here. They give it a toss, and the crowd's still cheering. Of course, you get pats on the back, both of you, when you come back to the side because everybody's excited and it's fun.
Hell yeah.
This goes on for another half an hour or so, and then the next game is announced. And Rosa leads Amarak to the side. He's like, "Oh, this next competition, we're going to go to the back of Goldbrooks, the cafe, or you or Gob. I just mixed people. Gabbard's Cafe. We have a few tables set up there. We've heard of this new trend that's happening in some of the other cities. They call it what is it, dear?" And she kind of mutters something. "Oh yes, it's wrestling, but with just your arms. So would anybody try this out?"
Is it windmills? You just swing your
wrestling. You sit on a table and you clasp hands and you try to put the other one's arm down.
Aggressive hand holding?
Yes. Oh.
I don't know.
I'll show you. So he gets back there, and this old guy who's completely blind sits down at the table, but he's facing the wrong way, and his wife has to turn him around, and he gets that right. And she sits across from him, so you can imagine these two old couples. They're like arm wrestling, but it's just sort of pathetic at first. So it's like this, and whoever puts the other arm down first wins. So any other takers here?
I don't understand this game.
I'm a good hand holder.
You're okay.
I'm excellent.
Really, I'm in as well.
Better than him.
I'm in too.
Honestly.
Very good. I forgot to have you guys describe your characters too as you walked up in front of the audience for the first time.
They look exactly like what you think.
Huh?
They look exactly like what you think.
Very good. All right. So you guys come up to the table, and I mean, it is just arm wrestling, okay. So this time we're going to do a direct contest. You're going to roll your strength against each other. We're going to do best 2 out of 3 because I don't want any one screwing somebody up. So just roll 1 at a time, and we'll see what happens.
6.
Also 6.
Perfect.
Why don't I see?
Oh wait, no,
That's mine.
that's you.
You should be able to click on the athletics or strength on your character
Yeah,
sheet.
I gotcha.
There you
Oh
go.
boy, you know, bam! You know, my hands are tired from throwing the log. It was real heavy. They shouldn't have 2 strength ones back to back. It seems like a bit of a disadvantage. You know, you do like push-ups and then you do like ab workout.
Only
You never
for
do
weak
like.
names.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so she's got you on the ropes. Let's do another roll and see what happens.
20.
Oh, now you've got a 20.
6.
6. So it flip flops. We're back to the other side. Now Siggy's on the ropes. You're just about to go down. You know, one more roll and see what happens.
He kind of leans in and goes, I was thinking about letting you win because you were a paladin, but I kind of changed my mind.
Oh man.
18.
Uh-oh.
Oh!
Oh.
And just at the last second, as all hope seemed lost for Kadesh, he brings you the rest of the way down, Siggy. Somehow wins again. It just doesn't seem fair.
I'm a champion! Did you guys see this?
The crowd literally goes wild for this because it was such a good back and forth kind of thing. Everyone's cheering. And these kind of games go on for a little while longer. We've got one more game, and then afterward we're going to have a duel of I'm sorry. After we play this next game, we're going to have some musical duels. I think we have a guest who's come to our town recently, and he is going to, if he's willing, I hope he is. Is Bowie here somewhere?
I'm over here. I'm over here.
Very good. Yeah, so our longtime friend Tad wanted to play some music tonight at the dinner. So I thought it would be fun if you two kind of did a thing where you duel. I don't know. We just have the people cheer, and whoever is the loudest wins. I like games. But before that, we're going to do a bag toss. Everybody done a bag toss? We're going to throw these little bags and try to hit the target over there, whoever can hit it the best. And they've got several set up, and people just start lining up and start throwing stuff, and it's crazy. But for those of you who might be more inclined towards dexterity instead of strength, you can have a couple rolls.
I think Globrek is taking the opportunity of all these people gathered to try and peddle some wares. So right. a cart comes jangling out, and there's like it's got like a little tiny like kind of fruit seller cart like umbrella thing going on top of it. It's on wheels, and it's like just filled with all kinds of dangling like glass potions and bottles and like little animals and herbs and stuff. And it's all just jangling together. And he's like, tinctures, tonics, elixirs, extracts, dyes, jams, droughts, potions, poultices, cordials, medicines, mixtures, remedies. Come all kindly, Dobbers, to Globrek Perg's grand alchemy.
I'm sorry, all I can think of is trial by stone. Oh God!
Oh, so good. So yeah, you come out, and of course the crowd immediately like stops in their tracks because you're loud and obnoxious, and your thing is jangly, and it's such a contrast to what's going on. They kind of stop in their tracks, and immediately some people come to you, and then others go back to what they were doing. It was just that wow factor for a second there. And you do pretty well. There's a particular interest in spices this time of year, so that kind of stuff's going to go well. Cinnamons and nutmegs and all that good stuff. I mean, you can already, and this has been the case all week long, you can smell the baking things and apple pies and squash soup and hazelnut tea and all these things. So
yes,
beet fries, if you've never had them, you should try them. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think
you fry it.
Is Dobberton just where you live? Is that like, you speak about these things like you casually, like, this wood toss thing that we do all the time here where I live, or beet fries that I consume on a regular basis?
Yes, I live here. It's just not real.
Okay.
Okay,
just checking.
So what were we doing? Oh yeah, so some people come up and they're buying some things, and there's one young dauber who comes up and says, I'm looking for something to tan to make leather harder. The methods that my pa taught me aren't making it hard enough. I need something. Do you have anything that would do that?
yes, of course. Also, Dobbers as great hair potion. Also dyes animal hair in addition to tanning hides. Yes, come look here. Glabrak Purgus, friend to all Dobbers.
Gelfling friend. Why would you dye an animal hair? I don't understand.
It is custom among goblin. Maybe Dobbers not do such things, but goblins take great pride in colors of animals.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. So how much is it?
It is X silver.
Very nice. Okay. Well, let me talk to Paul, and I'll be back.
No need to talk. No need. Purchase or make offer. No need to get third party involved.
I didn't bring any money. I didn't know you were going to be here.
Oh yes, but this ring surely could buy many more potions than just this one. Come, Glabrak has many things.
I have to talk to my paw. You're starting to scare me. he like goes behind some other Dobbers and then kind of disappears in the crowd.
And I think Glabrak has like the really absurdly large ears and like is kind of old, so has like gray kind of like tuft hair on the sides and is bald and has like a ridiculous spindly like goatee. So he's kind of and he certainly stands out because he's a goblin and he's green and just odd. Yeah.
I mean, and it's you've noticed also, you were embraced by a few people in town, but now it's kind of grown. People have become more accustomed to you being here. Of course, there's still an occasional sidelong glance, but in this particular setting, those people aren't here. They're if they're not interested in socializing, they're not going to be at a social event. So these fun and games continue. There's a pie eating contest. There's a rock skipping contest because you've got the brook. Everybody enjoys that kind of stuff. And there's a like apple mush, tasting contest. The people who prepared it, not the people who are tasting it. Those kind of things. So it continues. The sky is starting to get a little bit darker as the sun sets. I need to mute my phone. It keeps beeping. So as the sun's starting to set, the leaves that are starting to change, it's just, a hint of that right now, but with the lower sun, everything just feels golden and bright and beautiful. It's one of those moments you wish you could hire a portrait artist to to draw a photo for you. Or maybe an artificer could make a camera. And at that point, people are starting to mill over to the site of the dinner. So what happens at this dinner is at the actual cedar tree where the spring bubbles up out from under it. There's a bit of a clearing there, and they've set up big, long tables. Basically, everybody can come sit at one of these tables. They've got the tables even decorated. You know, some of the old ladies in town have put fruit and nuts in little clusters, you know, as like centerpieces, candles, lanterns along the side. And the way the brook kind of cuts through the earth there. Now, this is in the northern part of the Alwaysgreen Forest. And this isn't like a soft, plush forest. This is more of a rocky, mountainous, not really in the mountains, but, you know, it's got lots of crags and turns and rocks and things like that. So where this comes through, there's the side where the tables are. And then on the other side of the brook, there's kind of a big rock that's flat. And for years, people have basically used it like a stage. And then just on the other side of the tables, there are the kegs. What's fun about this is that is where what they've done is the spring that bubbles up out is very cold. It's coming from down in the earth. They've dug a hole that lets the spring like fill this big deep hole that once it filled up, you know, then the spring water ran back out and rejoined the brook. And there are these kegs down in the water. So that's where they've been cooling and fermenting for the last year. So anyway, people are making their way over there. There's some campfires with big pots of soup cooking, just all the things. You know, imagine your favorite camp out, except with, you know, 40 people. And as you get there, Rosa and Amarak are up on this rock kind of stage area. Rosa says, well, everyone, thank you for coming. We're very excited about the festivities tonight. As my husband mentioned, we're going to have some music. We're going to eat, of course. We're going to eat until we pop. And then we're going to open those kegs. It's going to be very exciting. Of course, there's enough for everybody. So don't hold back. And of course, you guys know at this point that most of the adults get fairly sauced in this event. But it's like that also special occasion where, like New Year's Eve, where you still might give your nephew a little sip of champagne. So even a lot of the kids get a little, a little nip. But they do keep that to a reasonable amount. But my husband wanted to say one thing before we got started, and he's behind her. Yes. I just wanted to let you all know we received a message from Timberborn that there appears to have been some raids. There are still some activity of some miscreants in the area. So if you must leave the town, make sure you go in a group if you don't want to suffer a horrible death. Okay, let's begin. And he gets off the stage. So everyone eats more food than you can possibly handle. Whatever you like. Like I said, the butternut squash soup is particularly good. And it's time for the musical competition. So Rosa comes back up. Bowie, would you come up and perform for us?
I will. Yes, I'll be glad to.
Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I really appreciate your generosity of you and your husband for letting me be able to stay with you these past few weeks. But I'm just a Dobber out from Oakden, and I'm very grateful to be here. So I thank you all. Thank you for your kindness and for your generosity. I'd like to play a song for you on Amanda. So I'll play. So right. I play a little ballad, you know, little something in the way she moves.
And what's the instrument you're playing, so everyone knows?
I'm playing a mandolin, which I named Amanda.
All right, so let's give us a performance roll.
Okay, performance roll. All right.
With advantage, because, you know, you're set up here. You've got the ideal circumstance.
Okay, performance roll. All right, it's with the 20.
There you go. So you knock it dead. The whole crowd is just they're if the goal is to bring a tear to their eyes, they get pretty close to that. But everyone's moved. They love the song, and thank you, sir. Thank you very much. That was powerful. I didn't know you had it in you. I think you're up for quite a competition, Tad. And she motions to this farmer guy. He comes up. He's got overalls and everything. And he's carrying a fiddle. You notice that he's actually got cymbals like tied to his knees. He sits down at a chair and he claps his knees together and goes, ching ching. All right, let's go. So you guys are going to play, try to harmonize a little bit, but make it a little bit fun. You see, we'll see how you do.
All right. That
so pick something fun. And he just starts wailing it.
Well, that means I'm going to whip out Strad, and I'm just going to go to town on it, and I'm going to start playing a little and singing a song. So I'm going to fiddle as I sing, and then I'm going to quickly switch to my good old second right hand ludi. I'm going to be playing a little ludi, and then I'm going to throw it back to a mandolin because she is my love. She is my lady.
That's good.
And I start playing something.
So give us another performance roll.
Okay.
Ooh.
Advantage or disadvantage?
Yeah, so you don't have advantage on this one. So as you're switching instruments, you kind of get your fingers tangled up, and you lose a step there, and he jumps back in. The crowd is following him now.
Redneck. All right.
Yeah, give us another roll.
All right, I'll try again. Let's see here. Not that good.
You're recovering. You're recovering, but Tad's got you this time.
All right. Okay. Tad.
Well, the song kind of peters out, and Rosa comes back up and says, "Oh, that was lovely, gentlemen. That was just lovely. Seems like maybe you used up all your steam on that first song, Bowie, but I still think you did a fine job. We're glad to have you here."
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity again. Thank you very much. I appreciate very much your kindness and for helping me. So thank you.
Oh, well, what's a dauber to do? So, who wants to open the kegs?
I could definitely go for a drink right now. That'd be great.
Everybody cheers. Everybody cheers. Anybody who is interested, anybody whose character thinks they might be paying attention in a way that might supersede the typical frivolities, can give me a perception roll.
I think I'm just hustling. Globrek is not paying any attention. Right. He's like, for those who intoxicants are not their desire, I also sell stimulants and pick-me-ups and other potions.
Dobber notos.
I think Kaddish is only looking for other people, Siggy and other possible paladins to outshine. At any possible opportunity. So he's not looking around.
Like a
he's
drinking contest.
Yeah, he's just like focusing on them to see if they're entering any more contests. So he's too busy.
Where's the leg wrestling at?
Right, the leg wrestle.
Right. Is there an archery competition?
Is there a squat competition? What do we got?
So, all right. So I will tell you what you see, Bowie, in a minute.
Okay.
But that's a good roll. So you guys everyone moves over to the other side. They gather around the pool where everything is, where all the kegs are down in it. And there's a pulley system actually tied to a tree above it, and they lower down a hook and grab one of the kegs. Some guys in the back, another farmer is, cranking on this thing, and it starts coming up out of the water, and water's just running down off of it. And it's already got, the keg spigot in the side of it. So as it's starting to come up out of the water, it swings just a little bit, and another guy there kind of grabs it and just pulls it, and then the guy lets it down, and it's on the ground right there. As is tradition, I will take the first drink and then start serving our people. So Rosa bends down with a big mug. She puts the mug under the spigot, flips the little tab thing. What you notice, Bowie, is that the water that always has gone through town from this spring has been crystal clear. People drink it all the time. It's very common. It's the best water you can get. But you feel like it looks like and it's dripping down off of the cake. It's going down in her mug, but that's not, anything unusual for most people. But to you, it looks a little unusual. It's almost like the water's cloudier than usual. Anyway, things go on. She gets her mug, lifts it a little bit, sloshes out, and she takes a big swill. Then she freezes up. Everyone, she like kind of even jerks a little bit, and everyone kind of, just takes a second glance at her. She arches her back, her head lifts up. Very, very peculiar behavior. And she says, "Et utana a fairy fanellum of casas," and then collapses. People rush up to her. It's very scary. People are panicking. And then you hear mumbling coming from her, the same thing over and over. "Et lucerna a fairy fanellum of casas."
I'm sorry, does anyone know that if she was a witch the whole time, or is this like did she recently become a... No?
Somebody's like, "What are you talking about? She's not a witch."
What is she saying?
I don't know. I've never heard that before.
I speak 4 languages, and none of them are that.
Yes, you don't know that. Oh, sorry, that was the DM. Right, you don't know that one. But you know the most languages here?
Probably. I know 4.
Yeah. Do you want to roll a history?
Sure. Yeah, I can roll that plus 0. Boom! 12.
12. Okay. All right. You realize that there is something to what's being said that has some roots in our language. There's something there. That's
in human language or in Dobber language? Is that
Dobber,
okay.
Common Dobber language.
Okay. Cool.
I think at the sign of this person seeming sick and being ill, Globrek pushes out from behind his cart and is pushing through the audience to get to her. Okay. And could I make a medicine check or something to diagnose any kind of problem here?
Yes. So as you are getting closer to her and you lean down and look into this, Hawk and Rock, who have been here also the whole time kind of doing their thing, which is mostly just bragging about something most people don't believe they did, starts clearing the crowd out. You see them talking to our buddy Amarak, and you can tell that he's saying, "We're done here, everyone go." So they're helping to do that. People are starting to disperse, except for you guys, because you are the PCs. So, all right, so you do your medicine check, and you can't detect anything wrong with her. Her heartbeat, her breath is fine. You smell the cider, and it smells like it's supposed to. But there's no physical malady that you can detect.
Very strange. I detect nothing amiss here. No strange substances, and yet she speaks in tongues.
Bowie, there's a detect magic in our chat window here. Were you wanting to do something?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of see if there was something dark or sinister that might have affected her. So I noticed that there was something. I noticed there was something with the water, and something just wasn't right. And when she drank it, it kind of made me think I need to check something now.
Okay, so do you say that to people, or because you're? I can't tell if you're in character.
Okay, all right, I'll go into character. So no, nobody else drink. Nobody else drink the water. I don't know what it was, but there's something wrong, something horribly wrong. Just everybody stay back real quick. I'm going to check. I want to check. So I'd like to go ahead and check with detect magic. So do I need to roll anything?
Yeah. No, this is pretty simple. You do detect some magic. There is a slight, pretty subtle kind of necrotic magic present in the water. As you do the detect magic, obviously you detect it on her because she drank some of the water, but you can also see that it's like, I don't know, if you have like X-ray vision that lets you see like the magical plane or whatever, however that spell works, but you see something that directs your attention to the water. So even in this big pool where the casks were being cooled, you see little sparks of magic attached to the sides of all of the kegs. It looks like slugs, basically, but without casting detect magic, you realize there's nothing there. They're not actual physical. So that's what you see.
Everybody just don't drink the water. There's something seriously sinister, something evil, something just wrong. Nobody touch it. Trust me. Don't drink the water.
As thank you, sir. What do you? And my eyes just aren't what they used to be. Amarak says, I can't. My poor wife. I don't know what we're going to do. And he's uncharacteristically upset.
Don't panic, sir. We're gonna handle this. We've got this.
Dobbers, stop staring. Get clean water. Method to recline feet. And potion on Globrek's rack. Third one down, row 3. And the green. No, that one. No, you fool.
Oh, this one. This one?
Yes, that one. Perfect.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'm going to take off to the stream to grab the water because the water's always been clean.
Yeah. Yes, I would have not even thought about it. And he extends his hand. Being a former paladin, he appears to be casting a spell on the water too. I can't tell if it's working, but he's casting dispel magic.
Where did Bowie see the bad water?
I saw it when I was looking at the water before she drank. I could tell something was just a little off, but it's after she drank it. I needed to check, so I used a little bit of magic to see what it was, and it looked like these crystal-like slugs all about the water. This is just something evil. I've felt this before, but something evil.
Daryl, is there a cistern here that water's in? Just so I know where, like physically where it is here. Like where did she get that cup of water from?
Yeah, no, she got the water. She was getting cider, but these casks were down in the water where they were being cooled. Ooh. So water was dripping off of it as they pulled it out of the water. So it got some water mixed in with her cider.
Okay, is there a way to get down there to where the cider barrels are?
Yeah. You're standing next to this big pool where they dug out this hole where they can sit and cool in the natural cold water.
Kaddish is going to go walk over that way and examine the water. He's well trained in surviving in the woods, so he wants to see if he can notice anything strange or different or a weird smell about it.
Okay. All right. Give us a nature roll then. Or investigation.
A nature roll.
Let's do nature.
Nature roll. Okay, cool. I get a 0 in both of those. Perfect. Boom.
Great.
18.
18 isn't bad. Yeah. So when you get close to the water, you can tell it has a slightly different smell than usual. It's usually just like I said, it's the best drinking water you can find. But it does have just a hint of kind of a rotten smell, but it's so subtle, especially with all the spices in town this week and that kind of stuff. No one would notice it without looking as closely as you are.
Now, this water specifically comes from underground, right? Not the river that runs by the town.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It runs into the river after it gets through town.
Yeah. Kaddish is going to look around to everybody and say, we need to go to the caverns. The water in the caverns is bad. Bowie's right. And just me? Okay.
Well, let's help me get my wife back to a comfortable space, and let's talk about this.
I feel like the more we talk about it, the more bad the water gets. Plus, there's 30 other Dobbers that could help you move your wife.
Can I try to heal her?
Yes.
Okay.
What are you gonna heal her with?
Healing word.
Okay.
I pull out a mandolin and start strumming a little bit.
Musical
That's where
healing.
Just so you know,
a lot of my magic
I'm
comes
still
from.
singing the Beatles, so I hate you for that.
Right. So yeah, you're playing along, and you feel the familiar power of this spell issue forth, and she stays unconscious.
Are you sure you played the right song?
I thought I did. I don't know. Something's not right. Something's not right.
It's the water. We need to go to the caverns, quick.
Nobody drink the water while we're gone.
Yeah. The problem with the caverns, and this would be common knowledge too, is it's full of water. So it's not like at this where you guys are at least aware. There's not a walking area or an open space. It's just it's a pipe of water that's natural. So it's not really that explored, but that doesn't mean you can't explore it.
Do we know where the source comes from?
No.
Okay.
Very deep, as far as you can tell. As far as the common knowledge, again, that's the theory.
Sure. Yeah,
very deep. Give me some more. Everyone roll perception.
Sure.
Perception.
We got some rolls.
Oof.
Double crit fail. That's the best. Visible slugs. All right, so you're focused. You're on your mandolin and worried about her. Mac is probably in the same, or Siggy is in the same boat, but just not nearly as oblivious. But material components names. Kaddish and Globbrick, you guys hear a low growl from north beyond the tree.
Yikes.
Yeah, big goblin ear is like swivel and tweak. Globbrick hears great growling. Danger approaches, Dobbers.
Kaddish looks down at his stomach and then gives it a shake. Nope. I heard it too.
As you guys look that direction, you guys are focused. You see into the darkness. Obviously there was the sun setting before dinner started, so it's dark now. You see two yellow eyes glowing, reflecting light back from the lanterns just behind the great cedar tree.
Kaddish, unnecessarily dodge rolls, behind a barrel and pops up with his sword and shield that he just had nearby. And he just shouts, "To arms!" to no one in particular.
Nice. All right.
He does have two arms. He does. Yes.
He looks back and you see a thumb up in the sword hand and he goes, "Battle music!" And he starts running towards the eyes.
I never pressed play on any of the songs. Okay, so roll initiative unless Globrick has something he wants to do real quick.
No, not that I can think of.
Okay, that's fine.
Just shouting goblin at me.
Yeah, so you two roll initiative.
4. Nailed it.
All right. Nice. And we have... See if I can use this funny little thing here.
Oh, damn.
A wolf jumps out from behind the tree, jumps over the little stand area, and jumps over the water, charging at you guys. Everybody sees it now, but in order, what do we got here? We've got the wolf going first.
Yep.
Where's my thingy, my cheat sheet? He first lands right in front of the old couple and bites at Siggy. Claws at Siggy, so landing with claws first. We've got a 15. Does that hit your arm class?
No.
Nope. He lands right in front of you and growls for a slip, and then bites for another. Oh, that probably hits.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have all my rolls set up like I thought I did. Come on, learn to type. 3 damage. Not a terribly bad bite. The rest of the people that are there now are gone, which most of them were at that point anyway. They run off. So it's just Amarak and Rosa and you guys. So next we have Globrick.
So one of them has run up and attacked Siggy?
Yes. Just jumped over the water, bit at her, just grazed her forearm. Now she knows it's there.
I am going to pull a potion from my pouch and spill it across the ground. And it's a super, like, right in front of Siggy. And it is a super slick, strange, kind of soapy substance. I'm casting Grease.
Nice.
I think it's a reflex save. So it's a 10-foot square, which becomes difficult terrain. But if someone is on it, they have to make a dex saving throw or fall prone.
All right. There we go. A little loud, though. Cool. Okay, so you cast Grease, or throw a potion of Grease. So would you say you should roll a dexterity to make sure you place it accurately?
I don't think so, because it's just the fluff. It has a 60-foot range, so I think I move closer. But yeah, it's mostly fluff that I'm casting it from a substance as opposed to like a wand or whatever. Yeah, but it makes a dex saving throw
versus probably something lower than a 15 or 17, right?
Yeah, 13. Yeah, 13.
Okay. So the wolf just kind of bears its claws down into the earth, keeping itself steady. Not really, just based on pure instincts, as he starts to feel the ground beneath him feel less stable than it was a moment ago. Kaddish.
I'm Kaddish. I am going to charge towards this thing. How far away is it from me?
Well, you guys are all in a pretty confined area, so 15 feet.
Okay.
If you, I'm picturing you rolled a little bit further away than everybody else. That's why.
Yeah, I had to pick up the sword, and then I charge back in. So I'm going to swing away at this wolf, and hopefully, hopefully kill it in one blow. Right, 11 to hit.
11 to hit.
Yeah.
You swing at the wolf, yet its agility is just too much for you as it kind of shifts to the side, and your sword swipes past it.
He just shouts out, "This one's fast!" And you can see him like readying his sword again.
Yeah. Amarak kind of shouts like, "Whoa! Why is there a wolf here?" All right, Bowie and Siggy, you're back in the fray. Roll into the initiative order here. There you go. And there you go. So, Bowie, you're first.
Wow, that's nuts.
You're muted.
Aha, there we go. I'm going to go right into Thunderwave because I noticed this wolf has kind of avoided everything that we've thrown at it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go big or go home. So.
All right.
So.
Let's see it. There we go. Thunderous Wave. Constitution saving throw. Nice. Oops, hold on. Nice.
Now I get to roll what, 2d8?
Yep.
Okay, let me see. Let me find. Does it roll? Let's see. Well, that's not good.
All right.
It is better than the 0 damage I did, so.
What's that?
I said it's better than the 0 damage that I did, so.
Yeah, well, but it did fail its saving throw, and it rumbles through the earth and pushes the wolf back, and it like claws into the grease, but it's grease now, and he's being pushed, so he just slides off right into the pool of water where everything was. Unfortunately, that was a bit of a hasty move because we're going to have Siggy make the same roll. So can you give us a Constitution roll?
I'm sorry, Siggy.
So I think you take 3 damage too. That's versus I think a 13. And you're pushed back into the water. So,
all right, don't worry, citizen.
Into the water, but it's your turn, so
I'm going to now try and crawl my way out of the water, kind of giving the wolf a whack with my sword on the way out.
All right. Let's roll athletics because you're swimming, you're swinging your sword, and you're getting out of the water. So if you give us a good roll there, now okay, do a regular attack. Great.
All right.
12 will hit. 9. All right, so you climb up out of the water with a very deft, I don't know what you do, but you spin around behind you and whack it in the neck. You hear a blah, 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 blah.
I will protect you, citizen.
Dig its way out. So it was next. Not dig, climb. And it does. So springs up out of the water, terrifying, whole like evokes images of sharks, but Dobbers haven't seen anything like that before, so but jumps up out of the water, splashes everywhere, and it's gonna go after you again, Siggy, because you were the one who just hit it. Yeah. And you're the closest.
That's fair.
9 I think misses, and that's its turn. So back to Flodrick.
Also, if anything re-enters the grease area, they'd have to roll again. If that,
okay, yeah, it totally did that, and failed. So it falls. So it jumps up there, slashes it at Siggy, and misses, and then just hits the grease, and all 4 feet go out. You guys do see that it's got a really nice cut on its neck, and dark red blood's running out of it.
And is there another one?
Nope, just one.
Okay. I'm gonna shoot my crossbow at it. Vile beast! Be gone! You're ruining Cedarbrook Peg's sails for the day.
All right, we have a critical fail there. So yeah, your crossbow jams. Simple enough.
Oh, bloody Dobber creation! I mean,
nice. Kaddish.
Again, not to be outdone, he jumps back into the fray and slightly louder than Siggy's shouts the exact same thing. Citizens, I'll protect you! And he runs in again with his sword to kill it in one blow, obviously. 17 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 8 slashing damage against this mountain wolf.
Give us a description. What happens?
So he does that. So he like leaps back up and shouts, "Citizens, I'll save you!" And then he looks at Ziggy and then runs towards it and just like chops it. And then you hear the thunk of the thing fall, and then he looks, and he just looks way more surprised than he has any. Like, oh, I did it! And then he quit. You're welcome, citizens. In a voice that's way too many octaves deep for his normal voice. Like it was, he put on hero voice for this.
You've changed your voice.
Yeah.
I did not.
No, I haven't. This is my regular speaking voice.
Oh. All right, so now there's a nearly decapitated mountain wolf bleeding out here in front of Rosa and Amarak and the 4 of you. Amarak's trying to pull Rosa now. He's too weak to carry her, and he can barely see. This is just terrible. There's not been a wolf this close to town in a generation.
And there won't be again, because I'm here. Kaddish Pine.
Well, thank you, Kaddish. To continue to be full of surprises today.
I know.
And
I mean, you're welcome.
All of you, very, very, very. Thank you very much for saving my wife. Now we just must learn what's happened here. I've cast the healing that I know on her, and nothing has changed her condition. I fear the secret lies in what she said. Did anyone catch that?
I heard it, and I heard it, and it was deeply rooted in Dobbers.
I thought I heard that too.
I keep hearing him change his voice, is what I'm hearing.
No, you're not, Bowie.
Oh, okay.
Shh, man.
Sorry.
Look at how delightfully long this wolf's canines are. I think ground into a powder, these would make a great, excellent potion.
Cedarbrook, the day needs saving.
I've not used canine teeth for a potion before, but I suppose goblins have a peculiar way about them.
Oh, yes, of course. One must have lived many years in the alchemist's shoes to know the usefulness of these things. But yes, indeed, there is a corruption that's the root of which we must get to. It is just as I predicted. The rot is here. The rot is spreading.
I'm afraid there was something hidden. Let's check the water again. Is there? I cast Dispel Magic on it. Has anyone checked it again? Is it still there?
The water is still there, yes.
I can see it. I'm looking at it right now.
You mean the decay, the evil magic?
Yes, the invisible slugs.
I took a sample of it, but of course I would have to go back to my lab and spend many hours squinting into my various devices in order to decipher anything from it. I don't get the impression we have that kind of time.
Well, when I cast Detect Magic now, I don't see what Bowie described.
I shall take a drink and test.
Take a drink?
Yeah.
Wait! Glovrek takes out a jar with like a bunch of paste and rubs it on Siggy's face. I'm casting resistance.
Okay, good.
To give a
I'm
bonus
just rubbing
on,
paste on you.
This is very. This will help.
Okay, Goblin.
This is good for digestive properties.
Please tell me this isn't made of wolf canines.
It does have some canines in it, but not those of wolves.
Okay, I mean, that's all I needed.
No more of those of Dobbers.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So with resistance cast, would she even know?
Resistance is going to just give a plus D4 to a saving throw.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So you take a sip, and it tastes the way you expected it to taste, and there's no trace of anything, no rolls necessary, and you have makeup on now. So
fabulous.
Yeah, beautiful.
See, now this is tricky because was it in fact my poultice that kept the poison at bay? Perhaps we should keep no one from drinking from this well.
Seems like that would be a wise move, at least until we know for sure. But I just don't know what we're supposed to do here.
Globrek Perg is not one to impose on the will of Dobbers, but it seems a wise decision moving forward.
No, I agree. Well, we will send a word to the rest of the town to not drink water from the brook for a period of time. But I don't know where to go from here. We could explore, see if we can find the actual source of these caverns, as Kaddish suggested. We could see if we could possibly find the origin of these strange words that she spoke. It seemed as if there was almost a nefarious spirit about her when this happened. I might suggest there's a library in Timberborn. Maybe they would have some information about the words.
Oh, of course. I love books.
You know,
I'm in no condition to travel, though. Who would, huh?
Globrek, you seem like a pretty smart guy, right?
Of course, the smartest goblin that ever walked these lands.
Have you ever heard of, aquatic ghosts?
Yes. They're terrible.
Perhaps there was an aquatic ghost and she drank it and she became possessed, and that's why she said evil words.
No, of course ghosts don't work like that.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
Maybe aquatic ones do.
You're thinking of diseases or germs, perhaps.
But diseases and germs don't make you talk crazy talk.
Some of them do. Haven't you ever seen someone who is feverish?
No.
No.
He just scoffs angrily. I'm done with you, Dobberton.
No. Java.
Oh, golly.
Okay. Well, and listen, everyone's left. Someone has to carry my wife for me, please.
I shall. I am the strongest here, after all.
Are you?
I am.
Yes, no doubt about that, dear.
Except for the competitions that I won.
No.
No, if only... If only there were 2 Globricks, and then one Globrick could study this water under his magnifiers, and the other could read in the library. Ah!
Do you have a potion
alas,
for that?
there's only one.
Or some makeup for that?
Yeah.
Yes, but I haven't perfected it yet.
You know, what if you take like a jar of the water and then you just bring one of your alchemy things with you to the library, and then you can do both at the same time.
I have not mastered the technique of using different eyes to follow a page and a water at the same time. Though I have strived to do so, I still struggle at this technique.
That's true. That's fair. Sorry.
When you said, too bad there's not 2 Groblix, I thought you were going to say 2 roses so that you guys could throw them and have another competition. But no, not that. Sorry. Back to immersion. All right, so you guys make your way back to town. I mean, you weren't that far off, but, you know, just outside. Into Amarak's home, which is very close to the cafe. And into the bed, lay her down, take care of her. You do all the things, you know, get some water, warm towels, whatever. So what will you do? What have you decided?
Here's a question. I have the researcher ability from my background, from my sage background.
Yes.
I can, when you attempt to learn or recall a piece of lore, if you do not know that information, you often know where and from whom you can obtain it.
Yes.
Can I attempt to know this, and if I don't succeed, know where to investigate further, perhaps?
Yes. So you don't know this. I can tell you that.
Okay.
But you definitely can roll that other thing. And given your background and all the things that I know about the story, it's just a DC of 10.
What would I roll? Like a
Would it be?
Yeah, it's not
knowledge. I mean, it's knowledge is mental, so that's like history, not wisdom. So
I have history. I have history and arcane and medicine.
So history. There you go. Good. So what comes to mind is the library that Amarak was speaking about is probably a private library that's in Timberborn, owned by a man named Thomas. Thomas is a famous and very rich trader with the goblins. He coordinates a lot of the trade of gears and buttons and screws and lots of metal things, which, you know, Dobbers don't typically gravitate toward, but they do need them for certain things. I mean, you got to have some of this stuff. And the Rockheart tribe has a foundry in the mountains, far, far away, but it all comes through Timberborn. And you also know Thomas is this eccentric collector guy. So
yes, we must go visit Thomas. Good friend Thomas in his library. He often lets me inside to peruse his books in exchange for information about goblins and also potions.
How long does it take to get there?
it's less than a day.
Can I run home first? Is that okay? I gotta get like a bag or like an overnight backpack or.
Oh, yes, but I will not wait.
Oh, okay.
I shall go and protect you.
Who's going?
I shall go to protect him.
To protect the goblin?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Look
okay.
at him.
Not me.
He needs
Okay,
protection.
fine. I thought you were talking about me. I'm fine. I killed that whole wolf. You see it?
If you can find your way to your house and you don't need, if you need protection on your way to your house,
no, I
gotta make
won.
it from.
I won competitions today, and I killed a wolf. I'm fine.
oh yeah, yeah, you can handhold very well.
The best of us.
Actually, I need to put away my cart. Despite the fact that I did not sell nearly enough today, it seems that time has passed, and few will want to buy any poultices or potions any longer. So I should pack that away so that it is not messed with by ill-meaning Dobbers or perhaps wolves.
You know, speaking of wolves, do you have any anti-wolf potions or anything like that? No?
I have potions to dye the fur of wolves.
I don't think that helps. I don't think they'll like that. That just makes them more aggressive.
Can you make them right? We can find them.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So as you guys are kind of discussing and planning on what to do, you can tell that the Amarak is clearly torn. He's trying to figure out how to say, my wife is dying, go find help, and he's still a grandpa kind of style guy, so you guys need to take a nap and rest and leave in the morning. So he's kind of, it's quite urgent, but I can't imagine you'd be at your best if you don't get a good night's rest. So maybe it's best to leave in the morning.
Is Rosa still muttering things or at all, or?
No, it has stopped now. It lasted for a while, but it's okay. She's just unconscious.
Okay.
Does she seem to be deteriorating or just stable unconscious?
She's
like breathing steady and things?
As far as you can tell, but it's only been a half an hour.
That's right.
So, what do you guys? Are you gonna leave in the morning, or just go get your stuff and take off?
I think Kaddish didn't think that far ahead, and when he said I have to go home and no one stopped him, he just started to go home.
Okay, that's fine. So yeah, you get your stuff.
His intent is to go home, and speak to Gulgruff, who I assume lives nearby, because he lives near Cedarbrook. But his intent is to go see him because he knows weird stuff, because he's a rat. And rats do and know weird stuff, and no one knows he's here. So if anyone knows about aquatic ghosts, it'll probably be Gulgruff, the one-handed.
Yep. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's his intent, is to head that way.
Okay. So let's just jump into that. Yeah,
sure.
You're heading back. As you get to your home, you're getting ready to go in, and he's actually just standing by the door waiting for you.
Oh man, so Gulgruff. Okay, so I was there, and then there was a paladin there, and then there was a competition, and I picked up the big log, and she picked up the bigger log, but I threw the log, and then I'm sorry, you know?
I was watching. You did well.
Did you see the part where I killed the wolf all by myself? No one even helped?
Whoa, I didn't know about that.
There was a wolf, and I killed it pretty much all by myself. Like, almost no one helped at all. And I chopped it right, Anyway, but Rosa, Amarak's wife, she's dying. And I think it was aquatic ghosts.
You've said an awful lot in a very short span. Can you try that again? I'm not following all the story. Yeah,
so she drank water. Well, she drank cider, and the cider had water in it. And then she started saying crazy words, and then she passed out. So obviously, it's aquatic ghost, and she's possessed by a water ghost.
I see.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. What do you?
The goblin also didn't think so, but what else could it be?
She's passed out, though, you say.
She's alive, but I think she's dying, and she's definitely said a bunch of weird words. The weird words, they sounded like they were Dobbers, but I don't know what it was. It wasn't Sylvan, and it wasn't Terran, and it wasn't Goblin.
And no one thought to try to revive her or cast any.
Oh no, they did. They did. Bowie, he sang a song, and I don't know what that was supposed to do, but it was nice. And then Amarak, he reached down and he said, "I'm healing her," and it didn't work. But also, he's old, so. Yeah,
but Amarak, he's still
really old. Oh,
the paladin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This. There's not a lot of things out there I know about that can prevent healing. It's usually what happens when you get sick.
Oh, and Bowie said that he saw invisible crystal slugs in the water, and then they went away.
Like But I don't know what that means.
Me either, but he said he saw it with magic, and then when we tried to try it again, we didn't see them the second time. Also, I saw that the water was gross too.
Oh, I see.
Nothing?
Have I told you what happened to my hand?
Does it involve invisible crystal slugs?
No.
I assume someone
maybe.
just chopped it off.
The point is, the rats, they aren't much for magic, but they've always been looking for ways to counteract it.
Mm-hmm.
When I left, they had infected a wolf, actually, one of our wolves, with something. And I had displeased Sayak, and anyway, he threw me in with the wolf. I had to fight my way out, but he took my hand, and he unwraps this leather bandage around his hand, and you see, and it's bleeding.
Yuck.
It's like, this was 3 months ago, and it won't heal. There's nothing that will heal it.
You didn't.
That's my only guess, man.
You didn't think to let anyone know that you were bleeding for 3 months?
I'm not going to talk. It's a sore point. I'm very, very prideful at one point in my life, and now I'm this shambling wreck of a man.
You know, I'm not the smartest Dobber in town, but I'm pretty sure you only have a limited amount of blood in you.
I'm getting by.
All right, we're gonna get you more blood. There's a whole wolf back there. I don't know how that works.
Did anyone get bit by that wolf? Is it possible?
I think the paladin, Siggy, got bit by it, I think, but I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy saving the day.
Saving the day sometimes involves paying attention.
Well, I figured, she's a paladin, so I figured she had it. But everyone else who wasn't a paladin didn't have it. So I focused on those guys.
Well, I just hope that it was just a regular wolf, because we don't want this happening to anyone else.
If her arm starts bleeding for 3 months, I'll let you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you've been training, though. Good job.
Yeah. Anyway, if you see invisible
I need to
crystal
wrap
slugs,
this back up.
please, it's real gross. If you see invisible crystal slugs, let me know. Or if you see any water ghosts or anything like that, just write it down with your good hand.
You're very confusing sometimes.
We're going to a library. Just thought I'd let you know. And he reaches down and grabs his pack and throws it on.
Good luck.
Goblin wanted to go. There's nothing to fight in the library, so this sucks. Anyway, keep an eye out for water ghosts or the slug things, and you gotta do something about that hand.
It's fine.
3 months is too long.
It's fine. You have noticed over the last few weeks that you've been training with him, some days he has more energy than others.
Yeah, more blood than others.
Depends on how well he ate the day before.
Yeah, he looks back and says, "Okay, good luck. I got this." And he adjusts the pack and immediately starts to run back to town because his intent was to go grab his pack, talk to Gulgriff, and then leave. And he realizes halfway there that he didn't confirm that with anybody, so he just runs back to the town square.
So you run into the town square. You other three, let me know if this is not what you're doing, but you see them coming out of Emarak's home, kind of making the bend around the front corner of the cafe.
I got my pack.
You good?
Yeah, he ran the whole way. Glabrick said he wasn't going to wait for me.
Cardio's important.
I know.
Work on that.
I did a lot of upper body today, and It's gonna round it out. I'm ready to go to the library.
Are you?
Yeah. We're not gonna sprint the rest of the way there. We're not gonna sprint the rest of the way there, right?
It is pretty important.
This is you guys.
We're not gonna sprint the rest of the way there, right? Glabrick, we're not gonna sprint, right?
I think Glabrick wouldn't actually be here because I think he would be looking at the water under his magnifying glasses and stuff like that.
Okay. So these two come out.
Did Glabrick leave already?
I say these two, but so you went back into your little hut or your room that's in the cafe.
I had him, and then he was gone.
Did he leave without us?
Well, he's magical, you know. He just kind of went.
I believe that. Yeah. Does anyone else want to get to Thomas's library?
Nope.
Crap.
I mean,
what about that one? He travels a lot.
You guys know that he has a room in the cafe. I mean, that's where he sets up his little shop, and he's got like a table he brings out during business hours, and has like his own little.
You know, I don't know if I've said this before, Daryl, but I'm not the smartest Starber in town, and he told me he wasn't going to wait for me, and so assumptions have been made, Daryl.
Yes. But anyway, ball's still in your guys' court for this.
You could probably see that the light is on in Glabrick's room, like in through the window from outside.
Okay, I've got this.
You've got to turn his light off.
Okay.
Well, follow me.
Okay.
I'll go in the cafe.
Oh.
All right.
I'm the smart one.
It's definitely not a library in here.
Let's not run though, because I think Kaddish is a little bit out of breath from the last run.
Yeah,
it's far.
He needs to work on his cardio.
It's like over there.
Yeah. Sure you don't need a nap?
No, I'm fine.
I could carry you.
Nope.
Nice. So you guys go into the cafe. Gabbard is actually behind the bar. There's several Dobbers in there, four, and they're all talking. Everyone's huddled together, talking. As you come in, you catch a few words, and they're talking about what happened. Did you see? Hey, that was crazy. I've never seen a cider fest like this before. This is awful.
Did you guys hear about the aquatic ghosts?
Like, do you say that to them in a way where you're trying to just plant the idea, or are you actually just joining the conversation?
Both.
Okay.
He's not duplicit enough to try to plant an idea, but he just, did you guys hear about the aquatic ghosts? Like, he just, as he's walking by, it's crazy, right? First aquatic ghosts, then a wolf.
Yeah. So this kind of wiry-haired Dobber woman's like, aquatic ghosts? That's it could be. I mean, she acted different. I mean, if one went into her.
That's what I'm saying. What if she drank the ghost?
Superstitious farmers. So their conversation has energized a new
The goal of this campaign is to make aquatic ghosts canon in Daryl's world now. There's going to be a new card in the board game, Aquatic Ghosts. It just says, I hate Mike.
May they haunt Mike every time he takes a bath. All right, so you're in there. His room is upstairs. So the way Dobber houses work, I guess I didn't really kind of go over this. They're all built into trunks of trees. So you'll have a big room that's still built, but it's kind of recessed into one of these big trees. And then a lot of times there'll be like a hallway or stairway or something that's actually just carved into the tree, and then it goes up, and then you find another room, that kind of thing. So he's got a room up out of the way. If you guys go that way, you go that way. And like I said, there's a stairwell that's carved into the tree. You can go up a couple flights of stairs, past the guest rooms, and find his little it's almost like a tree house. Like, it comes out on a limb, and then there's this like shack that's just built on a limb. Kind of run down and drabby looking, but he likes it.
Kaddish, are you doing okay on the stairs?
Yeah, the stairs are fine. Why wouldn't the stairs be fine?
I was just making sure.
It wasn't leg day. I just ran fast.
Very fast.
Yeah. I'm like the fastest Dobber in town.
We need to knock. Knock, knock. Knock, knock.
You hear knocking, Blobrick?
Yes, come in.
Slam the door open. Barge in.
Something
We're here.
Something falls off of one of your tables. Just like an empty vial. Bink.
It was not me.
Dobber friends. Can I interest you in some potions? Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to the library together.
Yeah.
You're the smart one, right?
Of course. My mind was just wrecked on my discoveries. Have I discovered anything in my examination of this? If I could use my alchemist's tools.
So yeah, the water is pretty phenomenal, actually. There's a lot of minerals and other things in it that are good for most people to drink. Is it possible to detect a magic that's been dispelled? So if that's possible, then I'm gonna give you that one too. But at this point, it does look like normal pure spring water.
It's terrible news. This water seems perfectly normal. It is healthy in all the ways that spring is healthy, and the reasons that I use it in my potions. Terrible news. My present theory is that there was a magic that was dispelled from it.
So,
Perfect.
not a ghost?
No, the aquatic ghosts all talk of madness.
What?
All right. So you're all in the room with him. You're kind of crammed in there too. Like, it's small.
Yeah, and of course there's like alembics and books and like random like animals and stuff. Like, I think there's also a lot of cats, like living cats, just roaming around because it seems accurate for the stream. But
right, yeah, there'd be some little squirrels or something like that. Because a cat would be like the size of a
Dobber.
Oh, right, yes. Yes. Squirrels. Many pet squirrels.
I even imagined that Bowie's kind of on the tree limb, like looking over everyone else, trying to see in. There's just not enough room.
I have no clue what's going on in there.
Crack the window open.
Yeah, fresh air comes in. So, what are we going to do here?
Okay, so
Team PCs.
we've ruled out aquatic ghosts. Are we sure?
Oh, well, of course. It is always a possibility, but I think it's madness.
Okay, so we've mostly ruled out aquatic ghosts.
Maybe.
Maybe. I have an idea. This question sounds completely random. Please don't ask any more questions about it. Are you still bleeding? Did you get attacked by the wolf, Ziggy?
Am I still bleeding?
Are
Good
you
question,
still
Leo.
bleeding? No, you did not.
Okay.
Your wound clotted. Like
It was a
normal.
normal wolf and not a mega wolf. We're fine.
A mega wolf?
Yeah, I have a friend that got attacked by a mega wolf like a while ago, and he got his hand bitten off, and he's still bleeding from the hand bitten off thing. So
Imagine how useful a mega wolf's eyes and teeth and such would be.
I don't even know where to begin with that.
There's
The intestines,
so many
you can grind them up.
So many.
Imagine how much a dyed mega wolf's pelt would go on the market.
Could they be glow in the dark?
Of course.
Sold.
There's a lady dying.
All right.
Well, I don't have one to sell you, but I do have this other wolf hide.
Is it mega?
No, but it does glow in the dark. And I pull it out from a roll on the shelf and use my magical tinkering to make it glow with the light of a torch.
I don't know what you all are doing in there, but I thought we were going to the library.
No, oh yes, the library.
Going? I don't know the way.
Well, you know it's in Timberborn. You know that Timberborn is on the main road that travels from the capital to the Pine Loft Watch, which is the farthest northwest watch. So you will have to travel basically due west.
Okay, I have one more question. Just now that we're all, here. Bowie, you said you saw invisible crystal slugs, right?
Yes, there's some sort of like crystal-like slug type thing in the water. Yes.
Yes.
And
you said that there was magic, and then the magic was dispelled, right?
Yes.
Glabrick?
That is my present theory.
Okay, well, who put the magic there? Detective Caddish on the case.
There's certainly no way to know. Perhaps if I were to engineer a potion that would allow one to travel back in time.
I don't think we have time for that.
But
you had to go back in time to make the potion to go back in time.
Yes, but if I completed it, indeed, there would be infinite time for us to work with.
Daryl, does Caddish know of anyone else in Cedarbrook that casts spells? Like I know magic is a little weird with Dobbers, but does he know of any people?
So yeah, there's no what you would refer to as wizards in Cedarbrook. There's healers.
Sure.
And that's primarily you guys and Amarak. I keep wanting to say Amaran. That's from something else.
Okay.
Amarak.
Are there any wizards nearby? Like in neighboring adjacent towns?
The most well-known wizards are going to be in Dobberton right now.
Yeah.
They're still rebuilding after, several months of siege and then a major battle.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that would be the only knowledge you would have at this point.
Okay.
Plus, they're trying to make the school.
So I guess we're gonna find a wizard at the library. That's where wizards hang out, right?
That's where the goblin hangs out, and he's kind of like a wizard.
I am considered a wizard among many.
Are you?
You look more like a salesman to me.
Sketchy one at that.
Now, I have an excellent reputation in town for my sales. I am no snake oil salesman, though several of my potions do contain snake oils. And I do sell them.
So... the library, right?
Yes, to the library. To Thomas.
The Dobber sign spins.
All right. So you're going tonight. You guys come down out of the loft above the cafe, back through the town. Now the discussion is full-blown focused on ghosts. Not just aquatic ones, but all types.
Yeah. Fire ghosts.
Yeah. Tree ghosts.
Yeah. Those are the worst.
Yeah.
World ghosts.
Leaf ghosts. Soup ghosts. Sorry.
Don't they know there is no such thing as ghosts?
That's the spawn of a fire ghost and an aquatic ghost is a soup ghost. It's a terrible...
Right. Oh, this is wonderful. You guys head out. There's a pretty poorly kept road that does travel west. If you want to take a nicer road, you'll basically have to go south to Dobberton and get on the main road and come back up north. But you can kind of follow the river that the brook spills into, and there's a rough path that goes along there. At times, you swear it's probably an animal trail more than it is an actual walking path, but it is travelable.
Sounds good.
So, what are you going to do? You going to do that, or take the.
Kaddish
really
is pretty
long
confident in his ability to navigate the forest. To be fair, Kaddish is pretty confident in any one of his abilities, regardless of their actual numerical value. However, he is confident in his ability to navigate through the woods.
Seeing him so confident, I'm going to pretend I'm just as confident and look real vigilant, but I'm probably going to be tripping over my feet the entire time.
I hope I get lost, just for the sheer comedic value.
I'm going to follow them, but with very, very hesitancy, because I feel like I'm going to be led into to my doom.
There's a den of mega wolves on the way. Just be careful about that.
Den of mega wolves.
Okay. Speaking of, Globrek takes out. He took with him this fur pelt that he cast this like light thing on. Yeah, from his magical tinkering, and he like casually just like drapes it on Siggy's back and is like, "You could just wear it for a time. It will help you see, and also to decide whether you truly are interested in purchasing it or not."
I like
Consider it a test ride.
It's the puppy dog tactic, right? Where you send them home with the dog, and they decide if they want to buy it the next day. But of course, you fall in love with it. All right.
Yes, but instead, it is a glowing dog pelt.
All right.
Love it.
And it probably drags the ground too, because I am especially short.
You're like a little stocky dauber.
Now really falling on my feet.
You're tripping over it. So yeah, you guys are making your way through the forest in the dark. I would like you guys to give me a sense of how you're traveling, your attitude of your characters, what you consider your primary role is at this point. Where it kind of sounds like Kaddish has decided he's the trailblazer. If you're playing lookout, if you're being stealthy, if you're whatever the things are you would like me to know about how your character's proceeding. So let's start with Bowie. What do you got?
I'm following Kaddish. I'm following him, and I'm a little concerned because this Dobber is very full of himself. I know this, but I'm willing to trust him a little bit. But for the most part, I'm looking everywhere because I feel like he's going to trip and fall on his own face. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and since it's dark out, I'm going to cast some lights. So I'm going to cast some dancing lights nearby us to keep us to give us some sort of vision.
Yeah, dancing lights is I thought it was more of an attack spell.
Or was it really?
No, it just makes spotlights.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it just makes like small, like medium-sized light bulbs that change colors and glow.
All right. Yeah, I guess I was thinking of color spray or something. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I've got a tickle now. All right, so everything's lit up with multicolored orbs. Also, give me a perception roll, since it's something you described you were doing. This is going to be a roll you're going to keep with you for the duration of this little trip.
Perception roll? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, perception.
Siggy, you'll be next. Excellent. You are doing a good job of being perceptive. I'll tell you what you see when it is relevant.
Kaddish, I'm just going to give you a little light. I know you are a very strong and wise Dobber, but I thought, why not give you some light so you can see ahead of you? Just because you deserve it, my friend.
Thank you. I was absolutely going to wing it. I can't see in the dark.
Yes, I figured that.
Thank you.
So even though Dancing Lights only has a duration of 1 minute, we're going to fudge that, and you can kind of extend that somehow because it's fun.
It's a cantrip, so you can just keep doing it over and over again forever.
Oh, it's a cantrip. Yeah. There you go. Okay. I was like, he's going to use the spell slots. Okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
Like strobe lights. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
Perfect.
Right.
It goes perfect with that glow in the dark belt.
Yes, which shines light like a 5 foot radius of bright light. So it is pretty glow in the dark.
I just imagine you guys from the top. You're kind of moving through the tree cover, but every now and then, like, there'll be a beacon of light that someone can see. The birds are like, "What is going on down there?"
So
how are you moving through the forest?
Absolutely convinced that I'm a bodyguard. So I'm gonna look like I know what I'm doing. I'm real regal, like back up. Very clumsy person, but back up, like hand on the hilt of my sword, looking around, ready to attack things as I go.
All right, so you're. I'm gonna go with perception roll for you too. Then.
Alrighty.
There you go. I think you called it, like, before the roll even happened. Globrick.
Yeah, I think Globrick does have dark vision as a goblin, but I think Globrick is kind of staying towards the back and occasionally like wandering off for a second in order to like harvest some plants and such. So his attention is drawn towards any kind of like little herbs and spices and stuff that he sees as he's traveling. He's very distracted by that.
Oh, okay, give me a nature roll. Nice. The dancing lights are just they're really affecting your typically sharp senses.
It's strobes, right? So it's like he's like dark vision, regular, dark vision, regular. What's happening? What's happening?
Curse these bloody lights! I can't tell if this is a poison berry or a globbery berry.
I don't even know if this is a berry or a nut. Caddish.
Caddish. So Caddish is failed the paladin test, so he learned all the things that aren't paladins, like survival in the wilderness, especially since his friend teaches him things about the woods. Yeah. So he is confidently now visibly traveling through the forest, letting everyone kind of follow behind now that he can see, especially.
So actually survival is what I was anticipating for you to roll.
Perfect. 8. With advantage, you say? Also 8.
Yes. Perfect. It's fine, though. You didn't roll a critical failure. You're not traveling through some unknown terrain, and you do have the brook, or the river now, to walk beside. So while you feel like you're doing well, you are technically succeeding, but it is a little less smooth than you think you're doing. You're getting distracted. You're thinking, a snake is actually a log, and you step on it and you have to kill it, and things like that. So
he does so boisterously.
What's that?
He said he does so boisterously. Like, it's another snake!
As you're moving through the forest, though, Bowie does notice all of the things that you could do better. But you're succeeding, and unless he's going to give you a hard time about it.
Snake, capture it for its oil.
Did you kill another snake?
I did. I did. This part of it's because there's the river, the stream, and they're like aquatic snakes, and so like they're they go in water and on land, and so this whole area has like a lot of snakes.
And don't just be careful of the land ghosts too. I hear that there's land ghosts and the aquatic ghosts around this area.
I think the land ghosts are just regular ghosts at that point, right?
I don't know. I've heard certain things, and I kind of do a persuasion.
I've never heard of a
persuasion roll on them.
I've never heard of a land ghost.
No, they're not just land; they're dirt ghosts. So. There you go.
Yeah, I never heard of a land ghost before. Like I've heard of like tree ghosts, but like I'll keep an eye. Do they look different? Are they brown because of the dirt?
They've got a light green hue, and they come from the ground. Sometimes in the form, and they start out and they come out of logs, out of random wooden logs. Yeah, so be very careful. Okay. Very careful. If you see a log move, strike it as quick as you can.
Okay, now in the same, if you see one come out of a tree that's not a log, but a tree, those can sometimes be good. So be careful and don't just think it's a land ghost. You want to talk to those first. They're 50-50,
Tree
good or
ghosts
bad.
are good.
Yeah.
Don't go striking every tree you see, caddish
No,
friend.
I know. I've seen a tree ghost before.
All right.
Are you going to keep that snake?
No,
Do you mind if I do?
no.
You don't want it, Globber. Believe me, you don't need this one. Trust me. Trust me.
Dad, you can do whatever you want with it.
Is there something wrong with your eye there, Billy?
You collect the snake.
Go ahead, have the snake.
You notice also, Bowie, with your 18 earlier, as you're traveling, you do come across some wolf tracks that are in the mud next to the river as the path kind of gets close to the water and stuff in areas. You would assess that those are not fresh, and meaning they're more than a few hours old.
They could be mega wolves.
And you can't find a trail. The terrain doesn't allow for you to follow a path, but you just see some there, and it's alarming.
Okay. Hey, everyone, look. There's some tracks. It looks like the wolf that came and attacked us possibly earlier. I'm not sure, but it looks like there's some tracks over here.
Oh, if I had to guess, there's the tracks here, and then there's tracks over here. They could be mega wolves. They've been known to jump something like 30 feet in a single bound, and so that's how.
I hear that they hang out with the land ghost too.
That would be terrifying.
Yes.
Your mentor tells you about a diseased wolf, and it's now a mega wolf.
It's a mega wolf. Yeah.
That can jump 30 feet.
30 feet in a single leap. Yeah, obviously,
Yes.
Daryl.
In a single leap?
It's like in a single leap. Like it's one 30-foot jump. Yeah.
Right.
God, Daryl, it's like you wrote the world and you didn't even know about mega wolves.
And I thought you said week.
Yeah, once a week it can jump.
Yeah. All right. But beyond that, the walk is relatively uneventful. You find yourselves coming out onto the western road that travels to Timberborn as kind of dawn is breaking. You come into, but then the town is another hour walk, so it's not too far from there. You make it into town, and we're going to. I'm going to make a couple quick assumptions here and get us to a good spot. Timberborn's a really unique town because, like I said, it's mostly just this stop that's one day between Dobberton and Pineloft, and there is a inn that is the Twin Creek Tavern. Oh yeah, there's two. The river you were following also kind of winds up through here, and it joins another river. So there's these two creeks that kind of make a V where the town sits. You come into town, make your way into the most obvious place to ask for information, and the proprietor at the Twin Creek says, "Oh, you're looking for Thomas, are you? Well, his house is somewhat down south of here, just a little walk. You can make your way down that way. It doesn't usually take too kindly to guests though, so keep your guard up. But if he's expecting you, I'm sure it's fine."
Glabrick, is he expecting us?
No, Thomas is always expecting guests.
Oh.
Anyone who sells potions or peddles knowledge must always expect guests.
Yeah.
Okay,
There you go.
Sure.
So you guys make your way down, and you come upon a large estate almost. There's you've still got the typical tree with the house built into it, but even out away from this house, there's a fence. The gate is open. But it's really luxurious. It's unlike anything you've ever seen. It's not Dobber-like. Dobbers don't typically go in for that kind of thing. I mean, they don't mind this stuff being nice, but this is excessive. But you're here for a reason. You can tell it's a big enough house to have, a nice big library, and you're pretty optimistic about that. You come up to the door. It's 2 large double doors, much taller than any Dobber would need, twice the height of a Dobber. And what do you do?
You didn't tell me he was a fancy folk.
Oh, yes, of course. He has much wealth to collect so many books.
Well, you gotta do the knocking because you're his friend, so he doesn't eat us.
Oh, of course. I was just going to say that you all looked very tired, and if anyone was interested in stimulants, I happen to have several on hand that I have brewed myself.
No, I'm all right.
So be it. Knock away, then.
All right. You knock. You're just getting to the point where you feel like you need to knock again when you hear a click behind the door. The door opens just a little bit. What you see initially, as the door is just cracked enough to see in, is this sort of greenish hued skin, and it's right there at eye level. You realize that you're looking at what must be a torso, so you look up, and high above your head is the face of it almost has sort of a pig-like face, large tusks, ears that are pointed, smaller than yours, Globbrick. And you just take this in for a second, and then you look back down. And as you follow his body back down, there's some robes and kind of leather wrappings around a lot of areas. But then at the bottom, there are tentacles. What you're looking at is a orctopus. And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Devastating.
I was muted and yelling at you, Daryl. You're giving me shit about mega wolves and aquatic ghosts, and you end the episode on an orctopus?
I didn't give you any
This is malarkey. Orctopus. Son of a bee. All right. On that note, we're going to get the hell out of here. Let's go around, do our introductions, and contemplate life with an octopus. We'll start with Daryl. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hi, I am Daryl Jones, also known and mostly known as Splattered Ink on the internet. I am a board game designer and illustrator. If you have seen any of my work or hang out with other board game enthusiasts, I do the logos for True Dungeon, I do cartography for Nerdarchy, and I've also done illustrations for a number of board games in the board game world. You can find me at splatteredink.com or Splattered Ink on all the social medias. And the Dobbers are my creation. They've been part of my head. You know, Mike asked if I live here. Well, it's been in my head for about 20 years, so I kind of do. But again, thanks so much, Mike, for having us. Thanks for all the audience who came by, stopped in, joined chat. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the next 10 weeks. We find out what this Orctopus does and why, our friend Rosa can't wake up.
Perfect. Guys, just so you know, all the art you see on the stream overlay, except for my logo, and all the art you see on the Roll20, the maps, the monsters, the inevitable octopus and mega wolves, those are all done by Daryl as well. So that's pretty rad. With that, we'll jump over to some new faces here. Mac, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hi. So I'm Mackenzie Hoffman. On the internet, you can find me in 2 different places. I run the Meeple Street blog for board gaming with a focus on education in the classroom because I like to pull board games into the classroom. So in most places you can find me as the Meeple Street at www.themeeplestreet.com, on Twitter as the Meeple Street, on Facebook as the Meeple Street. The one exception is Instagram, where I mostly hang out as Mako the Meatball.
Hell yeah. We'll jump over to the other new face. Chris, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hey, I'm Chris. I'm the charity board gamer. I do board game demonstrations for different publishers, go to different stores, events, and then I really focus a lot on charity work. You can find me mainly on Instagram as the charity board gamer, and got a website where we do some charity interviews, and I'm just starting to do some reviews with my wife and our 3 kids, Abigail, Beth, Chris, Daniel, and Elijah. So you can't tell we had a crazy thing with the alphabet, I think, when we're naming the family. But that's charityboardgamer.wordpress.com. But thank you all very much for watching, and I really appreciate being invited to be a part of this.
Hell yeah. Glad you guys are all here. And the familiar face, last but not least, Keith, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Yeah, I'm Keith. You can find me at Material Components on many things, or at M Components on Twitter. And yeah, I'm part of a after-school program here in Nashville, teaching tabletop role-playing games to kids 6 to 16, nonviolent conflict resolution, and positive heroic morality using Powered by the Apocalypse system that we have created from the ether in order to teach those things. And some of the GMs of the Heroes Guild have been in the chat. So if you're interested in hearing more about that, check us out at materialcomponents.com or theheroesguild.com. And yeah, that's me. You can find me here on Mike's channel.
All the time. Forever. I've actually chained Keith to his desk. That being said, guys, this has been episode 1 of The Silent King. We have a long journey to go, and it's going to be insane with the sheer amount of nonsense I'm going to throw at Daryl until he regrets proposing this idea to play here. But for now, we're going to get out of here. If you missed the show, it's going to be on YouTube shortly. And if you want to see just the audio version of this, you can get that over on our Patreon, which is the best way to support us. So come hang out with us on our Discord. And from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.